Good afternoon. Yeah, Turner syndrome, COVID. What do you make of it all? Brother Mark, Turner syndrome, butterflies in life. I don't want to put another Turner syndrome broadcaster on the spot, but although very thoughtful, it's very hard to talk about. And obviously, a lot of us are aware that there's been a lot of passings away in the past few weeks of Turner syndrome butterflies. And as I say, it always hits me hard. I don't know why, but again, as I said to one sister down in Texas many years ago, I know that's going to be part of the package. I knew that coming in, and it still doesn't make it any easier. I'm glad for that other YouTuber though that she took. It was hard, and she took the courage, to obviously be respectful, but also at the same time be able to share, her thoughts and concerns, and because I had a lot of thoughts, on COVID and Turner syndrome as time was going on. And it's hard for me because I don't want to come across sounding patronizing. That would just be highly inappropriate. And it's just hard for me to give advice because it just, it's not patronizing. It just to me felt kind of cutesy pie and smarmy, and but yet these are just kind of my random thoughts, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but here's just kind of my thoughts. I mean, as things were kind of ramping up, I know enough about Turner syndrome that there's some autoimmune components to it. That part I haven't read up on. What I have read up is historic learning disabilities and social anxiety, the NVLD, because that's just where I want to be helpful. It's just something that I can really relate to, and I've talked to a lot of sisters. A lot of sisters actually have come to me. So this is the topic of Turner syndrome in COVID. The thing that I first came to know about, or my thoughts were, how's this going to affect the Turner syndrome community? I mean, each butterfly is different. I mean, there's no butterfly is like another. Each one is unique. That in itself is kind of a gift, and like for some real, special friendships, which have been truly some blessings. I think, I guess my response was like, I knew that obviously there could be potential challenges, and again, I think I would just certainly, if I had something, obviously if somebody were pressed to ask of me, said, Mark, what would you advise? I think the wisdom's already been said. I'll just re-echo it again. Be sure to take care of yourself. I think the advice of working with one's doctor and coming up with appropriate action plans is the way to go. And I think it's already been said. And obviously, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And I don't want to be patronizing, but I think that the wisdom that that I've heard it's apropos. The other thing too that I would advise is not, and it is so, and for this Turner syndrome sister to share, not to be overwhelmed in fear. And there's two kind of extremes. And my pastor were actually talking about that. There's definitely here in the state of Ohio definitely some well documented fear mongering, and then there are de facto statistics that saying that somehow the numbers aren't really there. But yet on the other hand, there are people who are getting sick. There are people who have succumbed to it. My aunt, and then obviously the other Turner syndrome butterfly. So there's two extremes. One, it doesn't exist. That's not proper. But the other flip is to be so fearful that one's feeling it's under every rock. What do you do? Talk. Yeah, share one's thoughts and feelings. And I think more importantly, listen. I couldn't respond to that YouTuber. But I could sure listen. And it was just a relief to know, as I was listening to that sister, I'm not the only one who's not sure. But I think one thing is sure. Butterflies are a resilient lot. They're a strong lot. And they're out for each other. And sometimes when it really gets bad, some of them will kind of knock on my door or bang on my phone and say, "Hey Mark, you doing okay?" Yeah, I'm weathering as best, and I'll be honest. I'll say, yeah, I'm weathering as best I can. I don't know what to to make of it, and I guess we're all in it together. So, talk, listen, more important, and I think the sage advice of working one's doctrine, certainly if my wife doesn't have TS, but certainly if she did, we would be working together. So, one thing I did say though in response is that I'm always there if somebody can't sort it out. If one is just overwhelmed with anxiety or just is afraid or just needs to bang a hole in the wall. I've taken those calls, but that's okay. I don't mind. I don't know why, but I don't mind. And I'll just listen, and I'll just be there. And I guess it'll be interesting to see when we get the other side of it, to see how the Turner syndrome community rose to the occasion, and then maybe to look back and to compare notes might be some interesting reading, and maybe for some interesting fellowship. That's all I got. But no matter the case, from me, you got lots of prayers and lots of cyber hugs. I think there's a whole truckload out and back. And if I can just kind of lighten the load a bit, yeah, I'm willing to do that. That's all I got. As always, take what you like, leave the rest. Thank you for letting me share, and I'll talk to you next time.